But as director of game design program, she has worked with Matt Gray, who is an assistant professor in the theater department, and they've been working on a project that explores improvisations, specifically something that comes out of theater, and virtual environments. And this project celebrates interdisciplinarity in the classroom, both with undergraduates and graduate students, and also in research.
All right, so the word, whoa, please come back. There you go. So interdisciplinarity is thrown around so much. So we wanted to start today by going, asking the really important question, which is, Mommy, where do interdisciplinary projects come from? Maggie and I like each other a lot. Sorry? Oh, okay. And so the answer is simple. It's coffee. We formalized a meeting once a week, every single week, come hell or high water, no matter where we were. Maggie and I would meet. We would go to Pete's, and we would sit down, and we would drink coffee, and we would talk about where we were. And often it was Maggie talking about what she does, and me going glaze-eyed trying to figure it out. And then I would talk about what I'm doing, and Maggie would be incredibly patient. But out of those conversations, we quickly realized that we could actually come up with something. So we designed. We shared this kind of mutual love with a Brazilian theater artist called Augusto Boal, who had this wonderful interactive way of doing theater that had a social engagement element, which was essential. The idea is that could you take an idea, and perhaps a bad idea that was being embraced by a community, and actively change it by having people act within it, and by an audience witnessing the established idea going badly and then making it better? Could that then trigger a change in a larger, broader social context? You want to take over from here?
Yeah, so this is a bit awkward with the whole microphone, but can we take basically what Matt just said and transform it into the virtual space and look at how we can use an interactive improvisation in a virtual space to look at social intelligence, specifically like social awareness, issues with power and conflict, and kind of provide a methodology for social training, in a sense, by looking at improvisation as a method to do that.
So we kind of wrote down what our aims and research questions were, and found a couple of overlaps, and in the interest of time, we'll speed through them. But what we knew we wanted to do was to do something different than robotic surgery, but clearly akin to it, which was to use the Microsoft Kinect to do motion tracking. It's a $90 piece of hardware, and it has kind of revolutionized a lot of interesting digital art and design work, and we thought that we could come up with an affordable motion capture system by using it. So we needed help, so we looked to Stacy Marcel at USC, who's developed a fantastic piece of software called SmartBody, which uses the Kinect and gives us data from it to be able to take human data and turn it into virtual 3D data. And then we decided to divide ourselves into two teams. I took the actors. I teach a class called Acting for Cameras, which I encourage you to, if you have particularly thespian inclined students, to push them this way. They're welcome. We look at all different ways of performance in front of cameras in different environments, be that in game design or be that in motion capture. And Maggie has a fantastic team of graduate students who started working on the interconnectivity of the various systems to make it work. We then had this fun experience where everyone sort of said, well, what's this going to look like? So we decided to do the cheapest, oh, don't do that, you horrible, horrible device. So instead what we decided to do is, this is a video, I took my students and we figured out what scenarios we wanted them to do, and I just took a camera and we improv'd with the sound down. We came up with some characters and went, all right, we'll play the scene. And we gave these videos to the graduate students so they could do things like go, well, what does the elevator environment look like? What does the various rooms look like? So they're short, but they're concise and actually started to help us out. So we came up with 3 basic scenarios. One was an elevator, One's a waiting room to go into an interview, and the other one was a boardroom. We were interested in finding situations where human beings were being put into stressful yet had to be calm on the outside situations. So interview came up immediately. I don't know why we didn't do an interactions presentation. That would have been a great scenario. Instead, we went for an elevator, and we devised a series of characters as well that, oh, it's Christmas. We devised a series of characters, again, based partly on, these are stills from the videos of the actors performing the courses, and these were the characters that sort of came out of them. We had, because, you know, there's clear, strong acting pedagogy, we wanted to have backgrounds and objectives for each of our characters. I mean, you know the great cry of every actor is, what's my motivation? Well, even our actors, we wanted to be able to answer that question as well as the animators. And just the other day, we came up with our first test, which is, again, terribly... So these are our graduate students from game design doing odd kung fu. The Kinect is seeing them, which is here. This is the data that the Kinect's able to grab. It then processes that through and turns it into virtual characters in strange blue bathing suits, apparently, moving. Where we can go from here is then wrap the characters around them. And ultimately, where we will be within a week and a half is I'll be able to take 4 actors from the class, and they'll each be in an individual booth in front of a Kinect themselves. They will then be able to manipulate the character they have already improvised in real life, in a situation they already know. And the other actors will only be able to see, the feedback they'll get will be the other virtual characters. And then through a nonverbal interactive improvisation, we will then run through a sequence, an improvisation. But the visual feedback they're all getting, much like the robotic surgery, is not through actually seeing it, it's through the 3D modeling of it. You want to?
Yeah, and if you want to see an actual demo of it, I'm not going to move on. If you want to see an actual demo of it, we'll actually have a demo on April 1st in the pop-up event that we're having on Games and Interactive Media.
So next up, we're, as you said, we're showing a workable model on April 1st. That's not an April Fool's joke. We are continuing our social intelligence training, and we just got this interesting Tier 1 grant with some colleagues in psychology to further this work.
Yeah, so I think this particular platform is not just for theater, but it's also for entire university. Can I try out different things with improvisation and with acting as a methodology angle? So the psychologists were really interested in looking at trust. And issues of social power and conflict, and so this platform will be a fantastic methodology to kind of try out and look at these particular theories as well.
Absolutely. And on a purely self-serving note, Donnie Darko is playing downstairs. I directed it. We need people to come and see it. We sold out the last 3 nights. We'd love to sell it the next 3. Thanks very much.